The first question today comes to us from WM, who writes, "Your show has become my addiction." Thank you so much, W. I have a question about how studios keep most of their film's content from leaking to the public. There are hundreds upon hundreds of people involved in the production of a movie, from pre-production to on-set filming to post-production and marketing. How are all these involved persons prevented from leaking information about films in this technological day and age? Also, have film leaks ever ruined a movie experience for you? Great question, WN. First of all, let me address the last part of your question there. Has film leaks ever ruined a movie experience for me? Honestly, no. No, really never has. I can think of maybe a couple of examples where they might have. Like, I don't know, like if I knew the end of The Usual Suspects, that might have affected my enjoyment of The Usual Suspects. But honestly, spoilers don't bother me all that much. Why? Well, let's take Titanic for a second, okay? If Titanic wasn't based on a true story and somebody leaked it out to you, hey, by the way, oh my gosh, they don't save everybody. Titanic sinks at the end. And you heard that, you jump up and down and go, spoiler, you just ruined the movie. Well, it is a true story, and we do know that the ship sinks at the end. Does that ruin the movie? No. You see, to me, and it's totally fine for those of you who are more sensitive to spoilers. I get it. We're different, and so things will affect us differently. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I'm just saying for me personally that, you know, spoilers don't really bother me all that much because it's not so much knowing what happens in a movie. To me, the enjoyment of a movie is watching the telling of the story, even if I know that the ship sinks at the end. You know, even if I know who Kaiser Soze is, even if I know that Rosebud is a bobsled, even if I know that Vader is Luke's father, even if I know all that going into the movie, it's still, to me, the enjoyment of the movie is watching the telling of the story, even though I know what happens. I know how Argo ends because it was a real life event. We had to study it in school. But guess what? I still thoroughly, it was the best movie of the year. I thoroughly enjoyed watching that film because I enjoy the telling of the story. And, you know, sometimes I get people really complain a lot to me that, like I said, it's because I'm a little bit different. Because these little details don't really bother me so much. You know, we can talk about how, by the way, I'm making this part up. So don't worry about it. If you're looking forward to Thor, I'm making this part up. So I can say, you know, there's a scene in Thor, in the upcoming Thor, where Thor and Loki are talking in a Starbucks. And they're talking over a cup of coffee and talking about this, that, and the other. I swear I would have 10 people email me. Thanks for the spoiler, John. Thanks for spoiling that. I didn't want to know. I just said they were sitting down in a coffee shop. Does that really ruin your movie watching experience? Does that affect your movie watching experience at all? But like I said, you may be one of those people where spoilers really affect you a lot, and that's totally cool. We're just different. That's all. No big deal. But to me, no. I think there are maybe one or two spoilers I can think of, like big, significant, major twists at the end. The end of The Sixth Sense, for example. Maybe if I knew that one specific detail, that big honking elephant detail, the ending of Sixth Sense, maybe that would have affected my viewing experience. Sure, okay. Maybe the same thing of Usual Suspects, knowing who Kaiser Soze is. Okay, that might have affected. But these are big, huge, significant twists that is meant to be not known until the end. So maybe it's a little bit different. But let's get on to the main part of your question, because what you're really asking about is how in today's technology-filled world do we keep leaks, major leaks, from getting out all the time? Because like you said, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that work on a motion picture. How is somebody not leaking out who's playing this or what happens here or whatever? How is that not happening? The answer, my friend, is one word: fear. Fear will keep the local systems in line. Bonus points if you know where that's from. Fear keeps everybody in line. Why? Because I've been to movie sets. And a lot of film journalists have. And when you go, you have to sign a couple of things called non-disclosure agreements, NDA. That basically NDAs are, you sign these things, and what that basically says is this studio is allowed to destroy you if you reveal anything. They will take your goods, your money, your freedom, your happiness, your soul. They will come after you with the full force of whatever legal reprisals they have at their disposal to destroy you, to set as an example for other potential people who would, reveal their secrets. There's these contracts you got to sign. And people who work on these films, they got to sign them too. And it is just not worth it. It is not worth it. If I'm a gaffer on Thor 2, it is not worth the risk to me to write an email to somebody at Coming Soon and say, hey guys, just so you know, turns out Loki is actually Odin all along. It's not worth it, because when he gets caught, he's done. His career is over. He'll be sued. He'll probably lose his home. I mean, all that kind of stuff will probably befall him. For what? For nothing. It just doesn't make sense. There's no benefit to it. And so, and I like to think too, it's not just fear. I like to think there's a little bit of honor involved as well. Like, if a studio is trusting you to work on this film, they're trusting you not to go and blab your mouth. But so really the big thing is fear. And, you mentioned in today's technology age, it's so easy to share a secret. Yes. But in the olden days, if I want to share a secret, I can just write a note on a piece of paper and anonymously hand it off to somebody, and somebody. That really can't be traced back to me. But now, forget about it. You're going to email somebody? Guess what? They can find out you emailed it. You send a copy of something to somebody, guess what? They can trace that now. Because the technology has advanced so much that now they can find out, no problem, who sent that email, who sent that text. We can backward trace it. We can find the IP address. We can do all this kind of stuff. Even if you try to hide it in a science fiction manner behind 18 firewalls, they're going to find you. Because they have to. If people started spilling that stuff out and the studios didn't crush them for doing it, then everybody would start doing it. So I'd like to think there's a little bit of honor involved, but I also think there's a big healthy dose of fear that keeps people from doing it, and it's understandable.
If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to AMC Movie News on YouTube. It's free and a great way to stay updated with all the latest movie news, and check out our daily show, AMC Movie Talk. Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter to stay in the loop for our special prizes, giveaways, and contests.